Hey guys, it's me Evelyn here on Ironic Exclusive, and today I'm going to show you guys how I created this poster that you're seeing in front of you. I have with all my tutorials we get a resource pack, and here in the resource pack I forgot to save some of the images when I made the poster, so the background and the girl are not saved 100% from the web. They're just from my PSD and I just resaved them, but everything else is I saved in my downloads, and I just brought them back here. And I have two versions of the headband. The headband is resized to fit her head, so I'm going to use this one for the tutorial, but this is the original image I used. And of course I have the coloring PSD and the poster PSD, so I'm just going to open the poster PSD right in front of you guys, and I'm just going to close the rest out, and we're going to get started on this. And the poster PSD is just to help me with placement. Other than that, we're going to do everything together, and of course the text. So with all our tutorials, we're going to go to File, New, and we're going to create a new document of Wattpad poster size, which is 512 by 800. And we're going to click OK. And we're going to start with our background, which is this basketball court. I'm going to click and drag into new image, or into our image, like so. And we're just going to have it select all, just center into the top, like so. Then we're going to go Control J to duplicate it and go to Edit, Transform, Flip a Vertical, and you just want to drag it down and have it mirrored. And you just want to merge down, like so. Next, we're going to add in our girl. So we're just new tab and drag her over, and we're going to do some editing on her. So we're going to move her to the side a bit, like so, because we want our text to be around here. And what I did was I removed the background first. I did it lazy way. I didn't do it 100% perfect, so I just grabbed my quick selection tool and I just selected the background. After I did that, click Refine Edge, and then what I did is I used my brush to select around her. And I'm going to have to bring that in myself because... And what I really want to do just for this, just to select the hair more better, because we're going to change her hair color to black instead of it being brown. So that's what I really want to do, and we can just fix the edges ourselves. And as you can see, if we zoom in, can we zoom in? No. Oh yeah, we can. We just magnify glass. As you see, the hair looks good. We want to just kind of contrast it, which is like sharpening it a bit. And then if you want, you can shift your edges like so. But I'm actually okay with how it looks. Let me pan up to the top, and that looks all good. We're going to click OK, and we're just going to add a layer mask by clicking that button. As you can see, it deleted the girl and not the background. You don't have to worry about it. We just go to Image, Adjustments, and select Invert, and we have this here. So now if you need to fix up around the body like we do here, we're going to go just on our layer mask. We're going to grab a round brush tool and use white with our hardness at 100%. And we're going to just paint white back in, like so. We can clean up the edges this way. And we're just going to use our lasso tool or our pen tool, it's up to you, to fix the edges, like so. Okay, so once we have this done, now we can start to work on her hair and change it black. So what I did was, first of all, of course, I duplicated my image, so Control J. I right clicked on the layer mask and applied it to my image. And then I'm just going to name it dark hair. And what I did was I think I just used a regular lasso tool, and I kind of just selected around the hair. And the outside doesn't matter because it's already cut out. We're going to use our refine edge, and we're just going to make it a smaller brush. So up on the other side, we're just going to kind of go around the edges to try to attach it to the hairline as best as possible. We're going to click OK, and we're going to go to our adjustments, and we're going to go solid color, and we're going to make it black. We're going to click our dark hair layer, and we're going to go to our layer mask on our black layer, go to select inverse, and press backspace so that it just attaches to the hair only. And we can zoom in and see if we miss any hair. And I don't think it really, to me, it doesn't really matter that much. But if you want to fix it up, you can. We're going to use black on our layer mask to erase. So as you can see, we kind of got on our face here, a little bit here. And you want to kind of make it fluffy. And you can always turn down your opacity up here to make it like so it doesn't show too much, and the flow too, so it doesn't so much of a harsh edge, and you can just do your best to delete. So I'm just gonna and we're gonna set this to color first, like so. And as you see, it kind of just grays it out, but we want to make it a bit darker. So what we're going to do is we're going to select this, and we're going to go to our adjustments, and we're going to add curves. And what we're going to do is we're going to bring it down and kind of bring it up a little bit, not so much, just to make it a tad darker, like so. And you can fix it up as much as you want. I'm just going to leave it like this for tutorial sakes, but I think it looks pretty good. So next what we did was we added a basketball in our hand. So we're going to go here and drag our basketball onto our layer, and it's super high quality. We're going to stretch it, lock your chain link to maintain aspect ratio, and kind of change it to the size you think it's like a normal size. I think this is pretty good. Might maybe a little bit bigger, and we're going to do something like so. We're going to leave that there. We're going to go underneath it, add a new layer, and we're going to add a shadow. So you can change your opacity up here and your flow to however you want. And you're just going to add a black shadow like so. And we're going to Gaussian blur it too to make it look more realistic. So you can go to filter, blur, Gaussian blur, and we're going to blur it out to like so. I'm add a little bit more in, a little bit more black in, and then we're going to lower the opacity because we don't want it to look like there's a black blob in our hand. And we have that done so far. Next, what I did was, I really didn't do much. I added the tail and ears after, so we can go ahead and add those now. So I'm going to go into our resource pack. I'm going to grab the devil headband elongated PNG instead of these two because I resized your head already, and then I grabbed the devil tail. And we want to go ahead and do the words also, but for now we're just going to drag these out, put them in their group together like so. And the font I used for this is, so yeah, Sopa Fresh. So I'm just going to go ahead and drag these over like so, just so that I don't have to redo the typing because I really don't want to. So you're going to drag these over. They're going to go right here. And we use orange and black. And you want to make sure it's above all the images so far. And we're just going to move him to right about here, I believe. Looks pretty good. And now we're going to add our headband. So we drag our headband on top, and you want to just move it to her head right around there, and we're going to zoom in. And you can adjust it to however you see fit. I didn't really adjust it, I just left it like so and added a layer above it. And I added a black shadow on each side to kind of give it an illusion that it was in her hair. Like so. We're going to go to filter, blur, Gaussian blur again. Like so. And what we're going to do is we're just going to grab our eraser tool, hardness it around 34. You want your brush size to be small enough. And you want to kind of erase it so that's not really in her hair. The black is not in her hair that much, just a little bit. Like so. Then we added our devil tail, so I'm just gonna make that small and then zoom out here. And we're going to have it underneath everything, including her image, so we're going to do it above the background. Just click with your move tool and drag it in. And it's super big, so we're going to go Control T, lock our chain link, and we're going to scale it down till we zip it. And we're going to just kind of tilt it out. And the colors don't match, but with the PSD coloring, it makes it look a little bit more realistic. So we're going to do something like that. And then on my girl, I have to delete some of the background. So once we have that done, all we're going to do is add our light blur. And we forgot to add the cheetah font on her dress, so we're going to add that too. So add the light blur. We're going to just center it, and you can just use your mouse, or you can go Control A on your keyboard, center, like so. And we're going to set that to soft light, and we keep it at 100% opacity, so that's good. So as you can see here, her t-shirt says witch, and we changed it to cheetah. So what I'm going to do is down here on her image, we're going to duplicate it, darker copy duplication. We're going to duplicate it, and what I really did was, let me just hide everything above right now. What I did was I just grabbed my brush tool and I used the color near each letter and kind of just washed over it with it. I didn't do anything special, I just did my best to just erase what was around. So as you see, it looks okay. Now we're going to go ahead and grab our cheetah's font. I just used like a default or a font find or whatever. I'm not sure what site I used. And you know, like you can type in the preview of your word. That's what I did. And I looked for cheerleader font, and I just saved the image. So I'm going to drag it on top. As you see, it so doesn't match. It's not blended or nothing. We're going to go Control T, scale it down to right about there. We're going to set normal to multiply, and then we're going to untick the one we got rid of, and we're going to move it like so. We're going to, first of all, we just close those out, maybe transform it just a little bit more. We're going to tilt it, and then we're going to hold Control down and kind of move it a little bit to kind of match where we're at right now. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Edit, go to Puppet Warp if you have that as an option, and I'm going to make little points here in random spots so we can actually kind of move it, and you can kind of like move it how you want it to fit the actual shirt. Click OK, and then we're going to just bring in the one underneath it, and it's going to look something like that. It's not the best. This one didn't come out good like my other one, but I'm just going to leave it, or I can actually drag my other one over, but I just showed you guys how I did it. I believe that's the fun, and just drag it over. As you see, I did so much better on this one than I did on this one, so we're just going to drag this one over and then just delete that one like so. Oops, wrong layer. And just move it down a little bit like so. Okay, so now we're going to make all the other layers reappear, and we have the final poster without coloring. So you want to add coloring, we're going to go into our resources, drag our coloring, and we have just colorings are grabbed from different PSDs. You want to drag those on top, make sure they're on above all your layers, so we're just going to drag them all on top. And then I'm going to unhide those real quick. I'm going to go ahead and make a new layer on top of everything. Going to go to Edit, Fill. I'm going to fill 50% gray. Set that to soft light. And I'm going to go ahead and burn and dodge some of the image. So we're going to grab our brush tool, burn. And what I'm doing is I'm going to give her a little bit of more contour. like so. And then we can add our coloring to see the difference, and we can toggle this on and off. You can actually see the difference a little bit. And I'm just gonna blur it, filter, blur, Gaussian blur, just to give it a little bit more of a softer look. And I'm gonna add one more layer underneath it, and I'm just gonna grab black. I'm gonna zoom in, and round brush tool, and we're just gonna give her a little bit more darker eyeshadow. And darken it a little bit more. And now we have this here. Next, what I'm going to show you guys is how I made the GIF, which is the dark eyes and make the ears appear and everything. So you want to save your images without the ear and tail, and then with the ear and tail. So I'm going to save it. And I'm going to drag in my 1 and 2 images here. And I'm going to show you guys how I made her look a little bit more evil. So we're going to duplicate it, of course. We're going to zoom in, we're going to use black and a round brush tool, and you want to just kind of color in her eyes. New layer, and color on the new layer. Filter, blur, Gaussian blur. And you don't want to blur out too much, just a little bit, so that it kind of softens it. And then you can merge it down. And we're going to duplicate it again. And what I did was I cut out the mouth here. And I don't think you can really tell in my GIF, but right click and I layer via copy, and I just kind of hit everything. And I kind of just erased the skin and just left it so that we have just the lips. I went to edit. Well, you can make it one of the images appear. Edit and puppet warp. So we just have just the lips. On the lips, edit and puppet warp. So I have just there, select that you want to make. And what I did was smirk a bit and kind of move it up a bit. Move it up a bit. You can move it this down. This down. You can kind of move it up more. You can make another. And this is trial and error. This one might look funny, but we're just doing our best. Like so. And you can merge that down as well. So we have something like that. Now what we're going to do is we're going to drag this layer on top of this one here, which is our original. I'm going to click and drag and drop it. Match it up, Control A, top and center. Like so, and if you flick it on off, it looks like this. You want to go to Window, Timeline, and you want to make a new layer down here. So you have 2. On the first one, you want the original, and on the second one, while this is still open, you want to just toggle on this layer here. And so now we have just this here, and it's just going to play like this. And it's not bad, but we want to kind of make it blur into it. So we're going to click this here button. It's called Tween, and you want to tween it maybe 5 to 6 frames. I'm going to add 6. All layers, position ticked, opacity ticked, and effects ticked, and click OK. And then we have something like this. I'm going to go ahead and select all layers by clicking one layer, holding shift, clicking the last, and going to other. I'm going to go 0.15 and hit OK, and then we can press play here, and this is how it looks. And that's how we got this poster. I hope you guys liked this tutorial. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. If you guys have a request for me, go ahead and leave it in the comment box below. Once again, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope to have more for you guys soon. Bye guys!